Parker's Kitchen, bigger really is better. That's one huge chicken tender. Goes great with our giant serving of Parker's signature sauce. Only at Parker's Kitchen.
Live from Augusta, you're watching News 1226 this morning.
A first alert today for a severe storm risk by this afternoon. Your first alert meteorologist, Emily Acton, is on your side with what you need to know to be prepared.
And Richmond County Sheriff wants to work with you to make downtown a safer place for everyone. We're going to take a look at what they're doing coming up. A lot to get through this morning, but first, good morning. Thank you for joining us. I'm Nick Proto.
And I'm Ashley Campbell. 6 o'clock on your Friday, a stormy Friday with a first alert in effect. Emily?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's how we're going to end our work week. But hey, it makes sense because we've had a very stormy work week for us. But good news is things are looking better next week. But we'll get into that in just a little bit. This afternoon, first alert in effect. We're expecting a line of heavy showers and thunderstorms to move through as early as 2 p.m. for us. And again, should be in the Augusta area around 3 or 4. Main risk could be strong straight line winds, hail, and an isolated tornado. Those are all on the table this afternoon. Things are dry and calm right now, so if you're headed out the door, you might not be thinking about bringing a rain jacket, but you definitely will need it by this afternoon. So make sure you are prepared for rain again later on this afternoon. Wind gusts are going to start to peak in those upper 20s and 30s for us by the time we get into our afternoon. So very windy for us today. Very windy for us tomorrow as well. But hey, tomorrow things are looking a lot drier for us, and next week is really looking great. I'll have more updates on that though coming up.
All right, thanks, Emily. The Sheriff's Office listening to those in the downtown area, from customers to business owners and their employees. They all want to feel safe and secure while they're there.
During yesterday's meeting about the latest project, Sheriff Eugene Brantley was there and he was listening to your concerns. He and other deputies want you to know that their goal is to collaborate, and there's already a safety plan in place. The Sheriff's Office says during the day, community safety officers patrol the area. They report any issues and they respond to businesses. Then at night, there's one deputy on every block patrolling the area to help keep you safe. There's also marked and unmarked cars on the streets, and these changes are already making an impression on some business owners.
The change already is good. With everything else, it just takes time. So really, I'm looking forward to when it all calms down and the smoke settles, because it's still new. 5 months into the year, it's still all new. A year from now, 2 years from now, who's to tell? Downtown's going to be great.
Sheriff Brantley says they're ready to add more staff as needed, especially as the summer season kicks off with more events.
We're on your side this morning with a safety alert about a boil water advisory in Jackson, South Carolina. The advisory is in effect for all customers that are in the town limits of Jackson, but this excludes Highland Circle and Hendricks Street. Officials say the advisory is in place because of a water main break, and it's just a precaution. Remember to boil any water used for cooking or drinking for at least a minute before you use it. And check our Wrdw app and website for any updates to the situation.
If you live in Aiken County, you could soon be paying more for your water.
$127 million of upgrades and expansion to the Horse Creek Water Treatment Plant could impact your wastewater rates.
Right now, the current rate is $2.73. If the increase is approved, you're going to be paying 31 cents more, bringing your rate per 1,000 gallons to $3.04. But officials say the rate hike will not impact your taxes. A second reading of the budget is set for June 3rd, with the finalized version due at the end of the month.
More Aiken families now have food to put on the table while they still work to recover from Hurricane Helene. The United Way of Aiken partnered with several organizations to give out food boxes and gift cards. Families can use those gift cards at either grocery stores or places like Walmart for essential clothes or anything they may be in need of. Leaders say these events are very important as they've seen an uptick in food insecurity since Helene.
It's the catch-up that's hard for people to do, because if you were struggling before Helene and then it occurred, that food insecurity, it's almost like you're playing catch-up, and that's extremely hard to do on your own.
If you missed yesterday's food drive, there's going to be another one coming up soon. The next one is scheduled for June 13th at Oakwood Windsor Elementary School. And leaders say due to the number of people and the increased need, they expect more events in the future.
All right, take a look at your screen. Have you seen this missing woman? Richmond County deputies need your help finding 77-year-old Betty Garnett. She was last seen Monday, May 26th, around 1 p.m. on Belmont Avenue. They say she uses a walker and was seen wearing black sweatpants, a red and blue Adidas t-shirt, and brown slides. So if you know where she may be, or if you see her, call the Richmond County Sheriff's Office.
New overnight, a Columbia County Fire Department worker is now in jail in connection to two separate rape investigations. Richmond County deputies arrested 20-year-old Xander McDade and charged him with 2 counts of rape. Deputies say the 2 charges are for 2 separate incidents with different victims at different times and places. We're still working to learn more about the investigation, and we'll keep you updated as we do. In the meantime, if you have any information, call the Richmond County Sheriff's Office. Still ahead, new legislation would help Georgians exonerated for time spent in jail. We're going to learn how it's going to help coming up.
And a first alert in effect for your afternoon today. We're expecting strong to severe thunderstorms. A slight risk has been issued for our area. I'll have an update on what you can expect in the next 7 days coming up.
And as we head to break, giving you a live look right now at Grovetown at I-20. It is 6:06.
Tell me something about your side.
First Alert Radar, powered by Jim Hudson Automotive Group.
All right, welcome back. Giving you a live look right now at the medical district as we send things over to Emily and what we can expect on this First Alert Day.
Yeah, we can expect to see overcast skies throughout the greater part of our morning, but a little bit of a break in the clouds for our afternoon. That's going to be ahead of this front of heavy showers and thunderstorms. It's going to be a long line of storms moving through our area. Strong straight line winds, hail, and an isolated tornado. That's all on the table for us again later on this afternoon. So if you got it out the door this morning, things are calm and dry, but make sure you have that rain gear with you because you will need it around 2-3 p.m. this afternoon. So here's what timestamp we're looking at. Around 1 this afternoon, moving through Atlanta. Again, this line of showers and thunderstorms continuing to dip south and strengthen a little bit as it moves through the central part of the CSRA. Should be out of our hair though by the time we hit sunset. So that's definitely some good news overnight tonight. Conditions are looking calm, but we have to get through, again, some storms moving in. Here's a closer look at what we can expect. Again, overcast skies for the morning, a few breaks in the clouds, and that's going to add a little bit more energy for these storms to tap into. So here's around 1-2 p.m. moving into the Augusta area anywhere from 3 to 4 p.m. this afternoon, and then should be completely out of here by the time we hit sunset for us. So things are looking good overnight. Just know once this system moves out, it's going to leave behind very breezy conditions for us. We have a slight risk out for all of our counties here in the CSRA. The Storm Prediction Center is pretty confident that we will see at least one strong to severe storm. That could be a thunderstorm or an isolated tornado. Again, that is possible again this afternoon. Wind gusts anywhere from 20 to 30 miles per hour for us today. So it's going to be breezy even after that system moves through, staying breezy throughout our Saturday as well. 20 to 25 mile per hour wind gusts anticipated for your Saturday. So Saturday's much drier and a lot sunnier for us, but still going to be pretty breezy out there. But where all eyes are on today with that first alert in effect, again, tracking those showers and thunderstorms for us. We'll be here all day, keeping a close eye on it as it gets closer to our area. Right now, it really hasn't even formed yet, but once it continues to develop and move, we'll keep you guys updated throughout the morning and afternoon. Plenty of sunshine for the work week next week. We'll be in those upper 80s, low 90s for us, so really a much different scene for next week than what we saw this week, but I think we all deserve it. I cannot wait to see the sun. I feel like it's been forever, so I'm definitely looking forward to tomorrow, but we got to get through today.
All right, thanks for that, Emily. We're on your side this morning with another safety alert. With rising temperatures, you may start to see more snakes slithering around the CSRA. Your Cameron Jacobs is at our safety alert desk with what you need to know if you see one. Good morning, Cameron.
Good morning. Snake season is here, and I went out to the Reed Creek Nature Center to learn what we need to do if we come across one of these guys. This is a corn snake named Crystal. He is not venomous. This snake is like many native snakes. He feeds on small rodents, birds, and even other snakes. I spoke with environmental educator Catherine, who tells me When we come across something like this, the odds are that they are just as afraid of us as we are of them, but most importantly, where we need to keep an eye out for snakes like these.
So finding snakes in your home might be a little tricky. These guys are creatures of habit, and they like small, dark, enclosed spaces. So they will find the holes before you ever realize they were there. Oftentimes, people actually come across their sheds versus them. Spaces like crawl spaces, holes in foundation. So a good way to keep them away from your property or to keep an eye out for them is watch for any small holes, cracks, or crevices.
She also went on to tell me to make sure you check your mailbox completely before just sticking your hand in. Coming up for our next look, staying on your side, what we do if we are unlucky enough to get bit.
Definitely some good information there that a lot of us hope we don't ever have to use. Thanks for that, Cameron.
If you haven't already, you could be seeing a tax rebate in Georgia hit your account in the next few weeks. A bill signed by Georgia Governor Brian Kemp promised up to a $500 tax rebate if you filed your Georgia individual income tax for 2023 and 2024. If you filed on May 1st, the day taxes were due, you should be getting that money within 6 to 8 weeks after that day. If you want to check the status of yours, you can head to our website where you'll find a link to Georgia's Tax Center filing services.
For many exonerated Georgians, they're walking out of prison with nothing.
But now a new law will give them a way to be compensated for their time spent after being exonerated.
The Wrongful Conviction Compensation Act is going to give former inmates $75,000 for each year served, with an extra $25,000 for each year if they served wrongful time on death row. Doug Reardon reports.
It's something I won't wish for nobody to go through.
Michael Woolfolk spent almost 2 decades behind bars convicted of murder. In 2002, Woolfolk was at a party with friends when an argument broke out.
Next thing I know, they were shooting at us, and I shot one time in self-defense.
His shot hit Jakisha Young, killing her, but there were problems with the justice system. Key witnesses were missed, and police withheld evidence. After almost 20 years, an investigator tracked down testimony saying Young had fired first. Woolfolk's sentence was overturned on grounds of self-defense. Now that he's out,
But still, like, being a baby. You know, have to ask for help instead of...
Woolfolk is one of 52 Georgians exonerated since 1989. Before this new law passed, each one had to get a lawmaker to sponsor their case and fight for compensation. It almost never worked.
The process was extremely variable.
Kristen Verrill is with the Georgia Innocence Project. She says the new law set up a structured form of compensation with a review board and a way for free Georgians to fight for what they're owed.
Before this law was passed, there was a sense of sort of despondency and hopelessness about their ability to sort of move forward and move past their wrongful incarceration. And now there is a great deal of joy and hope.
The rate equates to be about $200 per day spent behind bars. Brian Robinson, who helped lobby pro bono for the law's passage, says while it may sound like a good deal,
I'll ask you this. Would any of you trade $1 million for 25 years in prison? Would anybody do that? No.
As for Woolfolk, he's feeling hopeful that things will get better.
I come home, I don't have any kind of moral support, background, but it's going to get better.
Woolfolk says when he's compensated, he wants to start a violence prevention nonprofit named for the victim in his case. 2 defendants remain in the historic YSL trial after a defendant accepted a plea deal. The plea deal for Dane Keon Garlington reduced his charges from murder and attempted murder to aggravated assault. He'll serve 5 years in prison, 15 on probation, with 5 more years in prison if that probation is not completed. Additionally, he cannot contact any victims or gang members and must stay out of Fulton County for his entire probation, and more. The trial centered on rapper Young Thug, who pleaded guilty last October to several charges in what became Georgia's longest criminal trial.
All right, time now for our Take Me Home segment.
We have the keys to your next ride at Gerald Jones Lincoln. Right now, lock in Memorial Day savings all month long on your favorite new models, like a new Lincoln Navigator Reserve. Save over $20,000 off MSRP, or save over $11,000 off MSRP on a new Lincoln Corsair, or get 0% APR financing for 60 months. And every vehicle is marked with employee pricing. Visit Gerald Jones Lincoln and drive home with limited time Memorial Day savings. Online at GeraldJonesLincolnAugusta.com.
The dentist will be...
Well, coming up this morning, there are a few resources for those in need. Project Refresh is hosting a free shower event with food and health screening starting at 9 o'clock and lasting till noon. And Brown Beauty Magic will also be on site with games, activities, and pictures with princesses and superheroes starting at 9:30. Again, this will be from 9 to noon at May Park on 4th Street in Augusta.
Tomorrow is the National Community Health Initiative Walk and Fair. You'll find that at Diamond Lakes Regional Park from 9 a.m. to noon, and much better conditions expected for our Saturday and even our Sunday as well. But today we do have that first alert in effect, so make sure you are staying weather aware throughout the afternoon. Have that rain gear with you before you head out the door this morning. Again, we're anticipating around time-wise around 2-3 p.m. this afternoon for a line of heavy showers and thunderstorms. Strong straight-line winds, hail, and an isolated tornado cannot be ruled out. So again, we're keeping a close eye on this here in the Weather Center throughout the day today. We want you guys at home to stay weather aware. Download that First Alert Weather app, keep your cell phone charged, and keep it nearby. Stay inside for any type of warnings. If we have severe thunderstorm warnings, stay indoors, stay away from windows. You don't want to be out on the roadways during any sort of warning. Again, we can anticipate seeing some strong thunderstorms this afternoon. But like I said, we'll keep a close eye on it here. It's going to be kind of a one and done deal. Yesterday we had pop-up showers and thunderstorms, more scattered like in pattern, lasting for a couple of hours. But today we're anticipating that line to start in our northern counties and push through. Really should be out of our hair by the time we hit around 6 p.m. So once you see that rain, it's going to be a one and done deal. So that's some good news. Once it's out of here, things are looking a lot calmer for the overnight hours for us. So everybody should be able to sleep well. Thankfully, not having to keep a close eye on the weather overnight tonight. But this afternoon, again, we're going to have to keep a close eye on it, and we want you guys at home too as well. That's why that first alert has been issued. Look at Saturday, though. So much better sky conditions. Plenty of sunshine. We'll warm up into those middle 80s for us, upper 80s for your Sunday, and maybe a few clouds mixed in. But next week, things are looking mostly sunny. Those temperatures are on the rise. We can expect to see upper 80s and low 90s next week. But hey, stick with us. We still have another half hour of news and weather.
In schools across...
Thank you for watching News 12 on your side.
This is not you.
It's not me.
Real people, real problems, real life solutions. Investigate TV Plus. Live from Augusta, you're watching News 1226 this morning.
Downtown safety top of mind for many community members and businesses, and the Richmond County Sheriff's Office is listening. What it's doing to keep you and your family safe coming up.
And a first alert in effect for today. Emily's going to have the latest on some severe storms that could be coming through our area this afternoon. But first, good morning. Thank you for joining us. I'm Nick Proto.
And I'm Ashley Campbell at 6:30 on your Friday. The end of a week, but it is going to be a stormy one as we have that first alert in effect, Emily.
Yeah, we are tracking that chance for strong to severe storms to move through our area. This is going to be a little bit of a different setup than what we saw yesterday. Yesterday, we're more scattered to widespread showers and thunderstorms. This is actually going to be a line of showers and thunderstorms moving through ahead of a cold front. That could happen as early as 2 p.m. this afternoon. Main threat is going to be strong straight line winds, hail, and an isolated tornado. Again, that time-wise is going to be anywhere, that timeline, anywhere from 2 to 7, as we're anticipating it to start in our northern counties and then slowly drift southward. But things are calm at the moment. So if you're headed out the door, you might not be thinking, oh, I need to grab a rain jacket or rain boots, but you definitely do if you're not going back anytime before 2 p.m. this afternoon. Because again, we're anticipating heavy rainfall for a strong wind gust as well today. So even outside of the storms, that cold front moving through, that'll bring us some breezy conditions, anywhere from 25 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts this afternoon. Tomorrow, still pretty breezy. We'll see wind gusts start to peak in the afternoon around 25 miles per hour. So again, nothing severe with these wind gusts outside of any of these thunderstorms that develop, but still makes for a very breezy afternoon. Tomorrow looking much better for us. I'll tell you more about that coming up.
All right, thanks, Emily. Your safety concerns about downtown are being taken into consideration to make business owners and community members feel secure about being downtown.
At yesterday's downtown project meeting, Richmond County Sheriff Eugene Brantley was there listening to every concern, and he wants to make sure that you understand he wants to work with the community to keep you safe, and they've already implemented a new safety plan. He says during the day, community safety officers are out observing and reporting any issues and helping out with businesses, and at night there's a deputy on every block patrolling, also marked and unmarked cars, and business owners say that they're taking notice.
Since January, you can tell the the police presence, the safety, like people feel better about it.
At the end of the day, if you take good care of your house and you have a presence in your house, your house will be respected. And I think that's what Richmond County authorities are doing. They're taking and having a presence in the downtown area, so this space will be respected.
And with summer coming up, Sheriff Brantley says that they still have more things to improve on to make downtown safer, and they're prepared to add more staff. He says for large events, a mobile command staff is going to be available to make sure that they have enough coverage to deal with any problems and keep you and your family safe.
We're on your side with a safety alert this morning.
It's almost summer and it's going to get warm. While we are out enjoying our backyards, we need to use some caution while you're out mowing your yard or taking a hike this year, because you just may come across something like this. This is a corn snake named Crystal. He lives at the Reed Creek Nature Center in Martinez. Earlier today we learned that snakes like him are not venomous. They are just as afraid of us as we are of them, and to be sure to check small holes or our bushes and even our mailboxes walking around our homes this year. But what if you happen to miss all of that and get bit by one of these that is venomous?
If you should have an envenomation event, the big important thing is to keep calm. Take off any restrictive clothing like bracelets, tight shirts, belts, things like that. And then seek medical attention as soon as you're able to. Nothing in the United States in this area is potent enough unless you are an extreme risk or very young or very old. You should have enough time to get to medical attention. It's really just gonna hurt and sting.
Now, this is a rare occasion, according to Catherine, and she told me that most bites are at the ankle from people walking and accidentally stepping on them or getting close enough to even spook them. But like she said, no need to panic, just seek medical attention quickly.
All right, thanks for that, Cameron. Hopefully something we never have to use, but good information to know in case we do.
Early voting continues for the Georgia Public Service Commissioner election, and you have a little more than 2 weeks left to place early bids on who decides how much you pay for utilities like electricity, telephone, and natural gas. 2 seats are up for grabs on the commission. Candidates running in District 2 include Democrat Alicia Johnson, Republicans Tim Echols and Lee Munns. For District 3, Democrats Peter Hubbard, Robert Jones, Keisha Waits, and Republican Fitz Johnson. Democrat Daniel Blackman is also on the ballot, but Richmond County's Board of Elections said yesterday that he was disqualified from seeking the nomination, so any votes cast for him are not being counted as of now. Voting in Richmond County is open Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. until 6 p.m. You can also vote tomorrow and Saturday, May 31st, Saturday, June 7th. From 8:30 a.m. until 6 p.m. Voting is at the Municipal Building, Henry Brigham Community Center, Robert Howard Community Center, and Warren Road Recreation Center. And Sunday, June 9th, from 8:30 a.m. until 6 p.m. at the Municipal Building only. In Columbia County, you can vote from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturdays, May 31st and June 7th from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. Voting is at Building G3 on Ronald Reagan Drive at Evans. We have more information on this election on Wrdw.com. All you have to do is search early voting.
Major upgrades coming to South Carolina roads. SCDOT approved the 2026 Pavement Improvement Plan, which details the work that'll be done on the 732 roadway miles across the state.
And those upgrades will reach not just every South Carolina county in the CSRA, but every county in the entire state. Officials say that the work is going to cost $576 million to complete. Funding is going to be distributed through either statewide allocation, which includes interstates, or a county-by-county allocation, which includes major roads, secondary roads, and neighborhoods. If you want to see a map of all the roadways that are going to receive upgrades, you can head to our WRDW app or our website. There you're going to find a link to this map right here on your screen. It gives you a look at each road in each county. You're looking at the plan to work for Aiken County, and the lines in blue are for major roads. The bright green lines are secondary roads, and the purple ones are neighborhood roads. Some of the roads in Aiken County that'll see work are Silver Bluff Road, West Martintown Road, Robert M. Bell Parkway, and Powderhouse Road.
For those in Aiken County, you're going to be paying a little bit more on your property taxes starting later this year. That's because the county's Board of Education approved an increase for the first time in more than a decade to cover massive raises for every teacher. Under this new rate, every Aiken County public school teacher will get a $2,500 raise plus an annual step increase to keep up with growth. This also means the millage rate will increase from 134.2 mills to 154.2 mills. That means if your home was valued at $100,000, you'd be paying about $80 more under this new millage rate. And until 2029, each year you'll see that millage rate increase by 5 mills. The budget passed on a vote of 7-1 and takes effect this August.
A new suspect is under arrest in connection to the shooting death of a Wren 16-year-old. The U.S. Marshals Joint Task Force arrested 18-year-old Kieran Darnell Walters after he was wanted for murder in the case. Sadiq Brown was shot in the parking lot of A-Town Wings on Peach Orchard Road in July of last year, dying later from his injuries. And since then, 2 other people were previously arrested in connection to the killing. Back in August, 18-year-old Malcolm Bryant was arrested, and in January of this year, 20-year-old DeAndre Donovan was arrested. Both were charged with murder and possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime. South Carolina now joins every other state in a key law over people's privacy online. We're taking a look at what's now protected coming up.
And we have a first alert in effect for this afternoon, tracking strong to severe storms. A slight risk has been issued for all counties here in the CSRA. I'll have an update on what to expect and the next 7 days coming up.
And as we head to break, giving you a live look at the Calhoun Expressway at 6:39.
Help you save on your Wrdw.
Time now for your dog walk forecast. We've got Dempsey here.
That's how people have been having to go to the beach the last couple of days, inside, with the pad, with the beach chair. Been a little rainy outside and going to continue here today, Emily.
Yeah, unfortunately so. If you want to take your furry friend out on a walk, this morning's going to be the best time to do that because we have a first alert in effect for today. That's really going to impact our afternoon, though. We're anticipating a line of showers and thunderstorms to move through. Strong straight line winds, hail, and an isolated tornado all on the table for us. Timeline starting in our northern counties around 2 p.m., ending around 7 p.m. for our southern counties. So if you're headed outside this morning, a little bit cloudy, but otherwise things are calm. Don't let that fool you. Have that rain gear with you before you head out the door this morning because this is what's to come. Here's around 1 p.m. to this afternoon. We're again seeing that line of showers and thunderstorms move through the Atlanta area, moving into the Augusta area around 3-4 p.m. this afternoon. Again, give or take 30 minutes to an hour or so. This is not going to be the exact timing, but pretty close to it. Again, we'll see those showers and thunderstorms out of our area by the time the sun sets. So overnight tonight, conditions are calm and looking really well. But here's a closer look at what we just saw here. Again, calm for the morning, but once we hit around 1-2 p.m., that's when those showers will start to move through. Here's around 3 for us, again, impacting the Augusta area, pushing out, though, by the time we hit around 6-7 p.m. for us, leaving cloudy conditions for at least the first half of the overnight hours. Very breezy as well. Make sure you are prepared for some strong wind gusts outside of any of those thunderstorms here. We have a slight risk issued for all of our counties here in the CSRA. Again, we're anticipating strong to severe thunderstorms and isolated tornadoes also on the table. So again, we're keeping a close eye on that. Strong wind gusts outside of this system. Anywhere from 25 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts anticipated today. Tomorrow, still pretty breezy, maybe not as intense of winds, but around 20 to 25 mile per hour wind gusts anticipated for Saturday. Much drier conditions for us, so that's definitely some good news, but we have to get through this afternoon. Again, first alert, download that first alert weather app so you know when rain rain, lightning, or even any severe watches or warnings are issued for your area. It's a great tool to have, especially going into this afternoon. Tomorrow, though, sunny, beautiful. I'm excited to say that for your Saturday. Sunday, maybe a few more clouds and a light shower, but next week, things are looking sunny, dry. High temperatures will be in the upper 80s, low 90s for us, so much better weather in store for us next week. I'm looking forward to it, but hey, Saturday, I really just feel like we can't get any better than that.
All right, thanks, Emily. Until just this month, a person in South Carolina could share intimate images of someone else without their consent and face no criminal penalties.
It's often referred to as revenge porn, and experts say that it's probably a lot more common than you realize. Your South Carolina State House reporter Mary Green explains what lawmakers have done to stop it.
Until very recently, South Carolina stood alone in the country as the only state with no law on the books targeting the crime known as revenge porn. But a bill the General Assembly unanimously passed here this year finally removes it from that list.
To protect the dignity, privacy, and reputations of people from others who seek to harm them or just are not careful not to harm them.
And it took a few years of work to get to this point. A new law that makes South Carolina the final state in the nation to criminalize revenge porn.
And had it not been for the Attorney General coming to us through the process, and that's what the process is there for, coming through us and telling us about it, this would have never happened.
It's now a crime in South Carolina to intentionally disseminate an intimate photo or video or a digitally forged intimate image of another person without their consent. That includes AI-generated images made to look like real photos of identifiable people.
Back in the day, you'd have never thought that we would have to address issues like this, but this is now the day we live in.
2 years ago, South Carolina enacted a law criminalizing sexual extortion, which is when someone threatens to release private images of another person if that person doesn't do what they want, like pay them or perform certain acts. That legislation is called Gavin's Law, in honor of the late teenage son of State Representative Brandon Guffey, who took his life after being sexually extorted. But under that earlier law, there must be blackmail involved for their actions to rise to the level of a crime.
I want to continue to, just like the other folks up here, to protect our, not only just our daughters and wives and significant others, but just our sons too.
Under this new law, convictions could land someone in prison for years, with potential time behind bars increasing if they do it again, or if they meant to cause harm to the victim.
We're trying to blanket the landscape in this area to protect our people.
And a new law called the Take It Down Act now targets these crimes at the federal level as well. But Attorney General Alan Wilson notes that South Carolina's penalties under the new state law are tougher than the federal one. Reporting from the State House, I'm Mary Green.
Some revenge porn laws in other states have faced legal challenges because of potential constitutional violations. But Governor McMaster notes South Carolina's constitution includes an explicit right to privacy, which he says creates a basis for these kinds of laws that cannot be challenged.
Georgia business owners say that they're concerned as President Donald Trump's tariffs are in.
Welcome back, giving you a live look at Grovetown at I-20 here, 6:51 on our Friday morning. Tomorrow, a local veteran will get to see his new mortgage-free home thanks to a nonprofit. A Soldier's Journey Home chose retired Sergeant First Class David Mathis, a double amputee, to build its annual home for. The organization builds mortgage-free homes specifically made for veterans with disabilities. 120 volunteers from 25 states came together to build Mathis's new home in just 2 weeks.
It's crazy because I do construction for a living anyway, but then you come in and you see this amount of work in 2 weeks and all these guys together, and you don't hear arguing, yelling back and forth. It's just goes together so smooth.
This will be the 11th house that organization has built. They've built homes around the country, picking one place to build each year, pulling in new volunteers each time. So far, they've helped disabled veterans in North Carolina, Tennessee, Illinois, and more.
Inmates at the Charles B. Webster Detention Center are celebrating a second opportunity by graduating from a job training program in Richmond County. You're taking a look at video of yesterday's graduation through the Serve Safe Work Preparation Program. Inmates receiving hands-on experience through preparation and food management. Sheriff Eugene Brantley says that this can also give them hope with job opportunities in the future.
Anytime we can provide meaningful life learning skills or ability to the residents here to help them become, better citizens and partners within our community. I think it's a great idea.
And this is through a partnership with Aramark, so congrats to them.
Taking a look at your top stories now, your safety concerns about downtown are being taken into consideration to make business owners and community members feel safe.
At yesterday's downtown project meeting, Richmond County Sheriff Eugene Brantley was there to listen to every concern that people had. And he wants to make sure that you understand he wants to work with the community to keep you and your family safe, and they're already implementing a new safety plan. He says during the day, community safety officers are out to observe and report any issues and help businesses. At night, there's a deputy on every block patrolling, as well as marked and unmarked cars. And businesses say they're taking notice.
This is January. You can tell the the police presence, the safety. Like, people feel better about it.
At the end of the day, if you take good care of your house and you have a presence in your house, your house will be respected. And I think that's what Richmond County authorities are doing. They're having a presence in the downtown area, so this space will be respected.
And with summer coming up, Brantley says that they still have more things that they're working on to make downtown safer, and they're prepared to add more staff. He says for large events, a mobile command staff will be available to make sure that they have enough coverage to deal with any problems and help keep you and your family safe.
For those in Aiken County, you're going to be paying a little bit more on your property taxes starting later this year. That's because the county's Board of Education approved an increase for the first time in more than a decade to cover massive raises for every teacher. Under this new rate, every Aiken County public school teacher will get a $2,500 raise plus an annual step increase to keep up with growth. This also means the millage rate will increase by 20 mils. That means if your home was valued at $100,000, you'd be paying about $80 more under this new millage rate. And until 2029, each year you'll see that millage rate increase by 5 mils. The budget passed on a vote of 7-1 and takes effect this August.
Well, this Saturday is the Bridge Builders Gala. It will be at the Richmond on Green from 6 to 9 p.m. The event will benefit Bridge Builders Community's mission to provide housing and programs for young adults aging out of the foster care system. And hey, tomorrow, much better conditions than what we've seen really all week, but especially this afternoon. We're keeping track of that chance for strong to severe storms to move through our area, so first alert is in effect. Time-wise, looks like our northern counties as early as 2 p.m., ending in our southern counties around 7 p.m. No, the main threats are going to be strong straight-line winds, hail, and an isolated tornado. That's all on the table as we go throughout our afternoon and evening for us. So make sure you have that First Alert Weather app downloaded, you have your phones charged, and you're staying inside anytime there is a severe thunderstorm warning and especially a tornado warning. Make sure you are indoors away from windows, and just make sure that you're staying weather aware this afternoon. Again, it's going to be the later afternoon, early evening hours, so you might be out on the roadway. Just make sure that you are paying attention before, again, you get out there on the roadway to head home. Just know it's going to be a little bit less widespread as what we saw yesterday for us in terms of those scattered showers and thunderstorms. Now, I think we will all see rainfall. Most of us will see a thunderstorm this afternoon. Again, it's going to be a line pushing through, but we're not going to see pop-up showers here and there. Again, it's going to be kind of a one-and-done deal once that line pushes through. So, again, rain chances really heighten around 3, 4 p.m., and then for our southern counties, that might be around 4, 5 p.m. this afternoon. But, again, should be out of our hair by the time the sun sets, so that's definitely some good news. But first alert, again, continuing for this afternoon. We're keeping a close eye on it here in the Weather Center, and we'll continue to keep a close eye on it throughout the afternoon for you guys. But tomorrow, so much better for us. 86, plenty of sunshine. You're going to be warm for your Sunday as well, but maybe a few more clouds out there, and an isolated shower cannot be ruled out. But hey, next week, things are looking really good. Sunny sky conditions. We're going to warm up into those upper 80s, low 90s for us. And again, plenty of sunshine. So we just got to get through today. That first alert in effect, but much better conditions anticipated for our weekend. Stick with us. We'll have more news coming up at noon.
Time and temp, brought to you by your First Alert Weather Team.
Join us right here on WRDW News 12 at 11 a.m. for Warren A Way of Life. Visit us anytime online at warren.church for more information.
When migraine strikes.